Anywho, welcome to Black Girl. Now I'm cold. Welcome to Black Girl Say Something, where this black girl has something to say. Ugh, it's chilly. Mm. Anywho, so it is Vlogmas day 14. Told y'all I'm doing this thing every day, every day. So I think what I want to talk about, I'll use these next couple of episodes. No, I'll wait. Because I said as we get like 12 days left in the year, I'll start talking. I'll use one episode to talk about like each month. So like I'll talk about January, February, like I'll do that. But I want to talk about my school journey. I think there's a lot of content to be discussed when we talk about like I finished my doctorate in 2022 and my kids, we were talking about graduations, and I was like, oh, my son been going to graduations since he was 4, and my daughter was like, well, I've been going to graduations a lot longer than him, and they're talking about coming to my graduations. So in 2011, I graduated with an associate's in science and vision care technology, which afforded me the opportunity to be an optician. The thing about that is when you graduate with that degree, you don't have to be an optician. You can just work in the field that is dealing in eye care. You don't have to become an optician. Just doing that degree alone kind of gives you the background knowledge to work in an optometry office, an ophthalmology office, and not necessarily deal in the dispensing of glasses. I have a few old classmates who never got their license and they just work in the field um, doing like pre-testing and things like that. That's what they like to do. Then there's some, you with your degree, you have to take 2 certifications, and then for this particular state, you need 2 certifications, a degree, and then apply for the license. Once you have your license, you don't have to keep up your 2 certifications, but the certifications are nationally recognized in states that are not licensed, so you have that. But prior to 2011, the year would have been like 2008. I graduated with a certificate, um, certified phlebotomist, and which I still do that to this day. Fast forward, so 2007, 2011, and then I went back to school after I got a job at a university, and then graduated with my bachelor's in 2015. Now, what was the longest stretch? That little long stretch came at a time because I graduated in 2011. 2012, I worked in the field as an optical tech because I hadn't yet gotten my license. And the first place that I interned when I was in opticianry school, he hired me part time. He ended up having to let me go because the lady who was working there longer than me, she didn't like me. Like, that was a whole thing. Anywho. But fast forward a little bit more, I graduated in 2015, and I was like, I didn't walk for my bachelor's because at the time, it was an online degree. I had just kind of had my son, and a friend of mine who she had did the same bachelor's was like, you wait till I get on live.
I just finished the thing. I just returned everything, and now I'm a little upset about it. Sorry.
You going through. So then it's all gonna make sense when I tell you why I'm telling you about my school journey. So 2015, my bachelor's. Um, my son was born in 2014. And what's funny is I'll never forget there was a paper that I submitted like the day of me going into labor. And the professor, I think he just gave me the A because he was like, but it was a really good paper. He also did right because of my due diligence and everything like that and my ability to put out such a great paper. He's like, if he could have gave me more than an A, he would have. Anywho, um, and something about me just going to school and having my children and being able to uh, still, persevere. I didn't tell y'all, like, when I had my daughter in 2010 and I graduated the program in 2011, I had her during spring break and went back to school. I had her the Monday of college spring break and went back to school the next week. And they were like, you're not pregnant. You had the baby child. They sent me home. And it was like, you can come back. But I went to go take my final exam. Um, so here we are. I got my bachelor's and I was like, I'm gonna do the master's because I was like, you know what, I want to be a professor. So 2018, I graduate with my bachelor. I graduated with my master's in 2018. My bachelor's only took me a year to complete though, because I got into the program in 2013 and I finished it in 2014. The only reason why the graduation wasn't until 2015 because you know when you finish you have to wait for your when your specific program is going to graduate. They didn't do at the time when I was at this school, they didn't do graduations like every semester. They started doing that once I got into my master's. So fast forward, I do the bachelor's program. I get admitted into the program. I want to say 2016, 17, 18. So I did my master's in 3 years. It's a 4 year, some change program, but I did it, finished in 2018. Um, then my doctorate, no days off. Hopped into the doctoral program. I graduated August 2018, September 2018. I was in the doctorate program. The mentor of one of the classes that I took, she liked my program so much, and she was like, "You need to do this at the doctoral level." At that point, I was like, "I don't know if I want to go back to school," but I did it. And let's see. I mean, my ultimate goal was to be a doctor, anyways. So now here I am with my doctorate in health science, concentrating in global health. Welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. So I say all of that to say this. I want to talk about my school journey because I saw a TikTok where a young lady was like, I had to go to like academic council because my paper was detected for like 70% AI. And she said the reason why people need to stop using Grammarly because Grammarly is technically AI, which it is. I just spoke at a panel and somebody asked a question about like what are your concerns as far as AI taking your jobs? And I had to explain to them we are calling it AI now, like all of these implementations where it can write a paper for you, where you can do these different things. But AI has been around as long as technology has been around, right? And I explained it to the effect of how many of you get automated text messages from Coach, Fashion Nova, like all of these different stores. I got a bunch on my other phone right now from Coach that I think, let me see, from Coach right here, right? That's AI. It's literally an automated text message. AI is just artificial intelligence. It's automated. So I was like, how many of you get that? And so everybody raised their hand. And I said, you know, myself as a business owner, I would use those automated text messages for people to confirm their appointments, for people to send them reminders, to follow up with them to get Google reviews. But when I took away the AI and I hired my daughter this past summer to work, I got better there was a better influx of participation in the surveys and people scheduling their appointments and confirming their appointments when I put a live person there to do it. The thing that we have to remember is AI is not going to like for Coach if one of the Coach stores this is regular Coach. So Coach outlet will send text message, but actual Coach they will call you. You get a personal shopper, they will call you to let you know what's new and what the sales are and what the deals are. So AI cannot replace like the human touch, right? When you tell AI to write you, I don't know, some sort of caption or something. Because I'm somebody whose my degrees were all in research and writing, I saw that girl's video and it made me realize I'm glad I finished my degree when I did because a lot of the research didn't need to go through the IRB, and that's the International Board Review, like because I'm not using human specimens for research. I'm using secondary research. And when you're using secondary research to create a new theory, guess what? You're going to have to extract information and data sets and formulas and information to construct your theory for your paper. Which, if you don't know how to paraphrase, you will get a high rating on plagiarism. But then I think about how now people are integrating AI into their schoolwork and they're writing papers and they're telling AI, like, edit this for me. Yeah, it can edit it for you, but then it takes out the humanistic effect of how you actually write, how you actually talk. And this is me coming from being a previous student and now have experience in being a professor. And it was like, I'll never forget, I had one student, I was mentoring her and I was like, you use AI to write this, huh? And she's like, how you know? And I was like, I don't know, it's just one of those things where AI uses a lot of filler words if you don't teach it. It has to learn you, and if it doesn't learn you, and if it's your first ever time using it, it doesn't know how you talk, so it's going to use a lot of filler words. And because these students were in my capstone, my research class, it's like, hey, just go back to the drawing board. This is how you could use it. You could ask it to write you an outline, and then you fill in that outline with the information that you need. So for me, I am just so glad that I finished my degree pre AI, because what I think, and this is just a prediction, I haven't followed it up with any sources. I want to be clear about that. But what I think is that when we're looking at um, getting positions in higher positions in the workplace, or hiring the new wave of professors or medical doctors or whatever the case may be, because even in the area that I've worked in, I've had to write recommendation letters for students to go to nursing school, dentistry school. Uh, I wrote one for somebody to go to veterinarian school, engineering. What we're probably going to find is that when they get their degree in these areas, there will be a certain subset of people who are going to look at when they graduated and kind of determine if uh, they want to hire that person because of the emergence of AI, if that makes sense. So to be like, oh, she got her doctorate in 2022 versus somebody who got their doctorate in 2024, same exact doctorate, but the evolution of technology, right? I know I haven't spoken to any of my past professors, not on a professional level, but I kind of almost want to reach out and ask them, like, what does that look like? What are the struggles you're seeing students have? Maybe I'll delve into that in my own personal research time, but I kind of want to know because I know I see it at the undergrad level. And at the undergrad level, it's a lot different because we're already in a literacy crisis. So it's like if they're not able to really read, and you're noticing that there's a deficiency in their writing, and then they're using AI to help them bridge that gap in their deficiency, how does that even help them? That's another story for another time. Anywho, I say all of that to say I'm just glad that I finished my degree when I did, because of the evolution of AI. Like, I wrote a lot of papers. I think my final capstone, my final dissertation was maybe close to 65 pages. I'll have to look. The one that I did in my master's, that was 28 to 30 pages, not including the cover page and the reference sheets. I ended up with maybe 72 references in my dissertation for my doctorate. And I had to do a capstone at the bachelor's level, and that was like 20 pages. I remember the amount of pages, so much so that that project ended up being something that I've used to speak um, nationally at conferences. So yeah, I think universities are doing themselves a disservice, especially when they're using AI to detect AI. It's a little bit, we don't want them to use AI to do their work, but we're going to use AI to detect if they're using AI to do their work. Come on, professors, let's be professors. You know what that AI paper looked like. Me, I would hand grade everything. Like, I read everything. Yeah, you have to turn it in on Blackboard, but I would read and go through everything. Especially one of the classes that I taught, it came with the workbook, and so they would have to do the assignments in the workbook, take a picture of it, upload it to Blackboard, so that way I can grade it. But I didn't use the AI to help me grade because it would make mistakes. It would make mistakes. All in all, I just want to say thank you for tuning in with me. Thank you for checking in here with Black Girl Say Something, where this black girl has something to say. Of course, as you know, as always, there'll be some links in the description of this episode. I'm going live every day this month at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We post an episode wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have a link where if you subscribe, you will get access to subscriber only content where this black girl has even more to say. And I'm talking everything. If you really, really want to know, because I'm going to give you like a gist, but there's some nitty gritty stuff that I need to talk about over on that side. So I'm going to get off of here and start recording it because it's about maybe 6 episodes long that I have to record. And the subscribers have been saying, hey, you haven't posted. So I'm going to there's gonna be a bulk of episodes that y'all are going to get because I gotta talk dating. I gotta talk. I got some stuff to talk about. But with that being said, thank you for tuning in with me. Follow us on TikTok, like us on Facebook, and of course, subscribe over here if this is where you're seeing the content. It is greatly appreciated, and we have come so far this year, and this year is it's wrapping up rapidly. Very fast if I must. And January be here before you know it. So I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Subscribe, hit that notification so that you can know when I'm on live. Thank you for tuning in with me.